What if I told you the real way to know if a man can't live without you isn't in the words he says, but in what he does with you in bed? Because the truth is, if he does this one thing, it reveals everything about his heart, his respect, and his desire for you. Not just your body, but your soul. So, let's break it down. Most people think intimacy is just about passion or physical chemistry. But what makes a man truly hooked, what makes him crave you, and not just the act, is how he shows up when you're most vulnerable together. If he locks eyes with you, if he slows down to feel you, if he takes time to make sure you're satisfied first. That's not just lust, that's devotion. A man who cares about your experience more than his own is saying without words, I need you, I value you, and I can't imagine letting this go. By the way, before I give you the most powerful sign of all, hit that like button if you've ever wondered what really makes a man emotionally addicted to you, because what I'm about to tell you might completely change the way you see intimacy. Let me tell you something right now. There are things a man will only do when he is truly deep in it. I mean, when the connection is so real that he is not just spending time with you for fun, but because he honestly cannot picture his life without you in it. And I am not only talking about intimacy the way most people imagine. I am talking about the small things, the quiet moments, the energy he shares with you when nobody else is around. A man's real feelings don't always show up in the ways people expect. Out in public, on social media, around his friends, he can be anyone he wants to be. He can smile, say the right words, open doors, take you to nice restaurants, and make you feel like you are the center of his world. But you cannot always depend on what you see in the daylight. Daylight is the stage where people put on their performance. The real test comes when the night arrives. When it's just you and him, no eyes watching, no pressure to impress. That is the moment when the truth comes out and you finally see your place in his heart. When a man is outside, it is easy for him to hide his emotions behind jokes, a tough expression, or endless distractions. But in private, when it's just the two of you, that is when his guard drops. A man who truly cares, who cannot live without you, will never be able to fake how he looks at you when everything is quiet. He cannot hide how his voice softens, how his body relaxes, how his energy shifts from focusing on the outside world to focusing on just you. You can feel the difference. If you want to know where you truly stand, don't judge him by the flowers he buys you in front of everyone, but by the way he treats you when nobody else is around. A man who is really connected to you will not treat private time as something routine. He will slow down, lean in closer, and give you his full attention. He will want to make sure you feel safe, relaxed, and cared for. This is not only about attraction, it is about emotional investment. Men don't go out of their way to build comfort for a woman unless they are serious. If he is putting you first, making sure you are good before himself, if he is asking about what you need and what you enjoy, if he is taking the time to understand you on a deeper level, then he is showing you the truth of how he feels without even saying it. This is not just about passion in the heat of the moment. It is about the entire atmosphere he creates with you. If he is gentle, if he is attentive, if he laughs with you and talks to you as if you are the only person who matters, then he is not with you temporarily. He is there because he cannot see a future without you in it. Men often find it hard to say, I can't live without you. Pride, ego, or fear can get in the way. But in private, that is where all those walls start falling down. That is where the truth slips out in the little things like the way he pulls you close, runs his hand through your hair, or looks into your eyes as if to silently say, you are the one. You do not need public poems or online posts. If he is giving you these moments when it's just you and him, then you already have your answer. And there is something even more powerful. If he makes you laugh in those quiet times, he is not only giving you intimacy, but joy. Laughter is not something a man shares casually. If he can smile with you after a long, stressful day, if being with you makes him forget his worries, then that is not temporary. That is him saying, I feel at home here. This is why paying attention to small signs matters. Men often reveal their hearts in subtle ways. Watch how he acts when no one is there. Does he stay affectionate? Does he remain protective? Does he still show curiosity about you? These are not random habits. They are instincts. And instincts don't lie. Out in public, any man can make a woman feel special. But behind closed doors, when it is just you and him, if you feel truly valued, cared for, and seen, then that is not an act. That is not something temporary. That is a man who has already tied you into his life. When you reach that stage, you do not just have his attention, you have his heart, and he is not letting it go. You can also tell a lot about a man, not only in the moment of intimacy, but especially in what he does afterward. That after time reveals the truth. Anyone can be sweet and charming when emotions are high and music is playing. But the real feelings show once the rush is over. That is when you see if he is emotionally connected to you or if he was simply passing time. If a man truly cannot live without you, he won't rush away afterward. He won't quickly grab his phone or turn away like it's finished. Instead, he will lean closer, hold you tight, and make sure you are comfortable. He will keep talking to you about life, silly jokes, or whatever crosses his mind. Because for him, it's not only about physical closeness. It's about staying linked to you as a person. That holding afterward, that lingering touch, is not just about affection. It's his way of saying, I'm still here. You matter to me. Even when the excitement fades, a man who truly cares will use that time to give back to you. He will laugh with you, play with your hair, kiss your forehead, and keep that warmth alive. He is not trying to pull away. He is trying to deepen what you already share. And that makes it powerful because men don't do that with just anyone. If he is giving that kind of energy afterward, it is because he is emotionally tied to you, because he sees you as more than a moment. He sees you as part of his life. It's his way of saying without words, this is not just about today. I want you here tomorrow too. Some people may think post-intimacy affection is just a sweet extra, but it is actually a love language all on its own. A man can fake romance in public, flowers, dinners, smiling for pictures, but he cannot fake what happens in private. He cannot fake the softness in the way he holds you when nobody is watching. He cannot fake that calm sigh he makes when he is just lying beside you, content with nothing more than your presence. That is why the after moments matter so much. Do not get so caught up in the grand gestures that you miss the tenderness that follows, because that tenderness is where the truth lives. When a man cannot live without you, he will make sure you know your value at every stage, especially when no one else can see. Even the simple conversations afterward matter. When he stays to talk about your day, something funny, or his plans for tomorrow, that is intimacy too. That is him opening his mind, not just his arms. A man who doesn't care will pull away fast. But a man who is connected will want the conversation to continue because he enjoys being near you. And sometimes it is not even about words at all. It is about not rushing off, staying close, maybe even falling asleep next to you. You can feel it in his breathing, in how calm he becomes, in how safe he feels in your presence. And ladies, men don't allow themselves to feel that safe with just anyone. Safety builds trust. Trust creates connection, and connection is the very core of I can't live without you. So if you have a man who doesn't only show up for the exciting parts, but who stays present in the choir afterward, that's a man whose heart is in it. That's someone who isn't just there for the thrill. He's there for the bond. And bonds like that don't fade easily. They only grow stronger when they are cared for, when he is still holding you close, still smiling with you, still giving you his focus like you're the most important person in his world. That's not just affection, it's a silent promise. And when a man can't live without you, he will keep making that promise over and over again. Vulnerability is one of the hardest things for a man to show, especially in intimate spaces. From a young age, men are taught to stay strong, to hold everything together, to never let anyone see them weak. We're told to keep our guard up, to protect ourselves, and to never let emotions make us look soft. But when a man reaches the point where he can drop that guard around you, when he allows you to see him unfiltered and unmasked, that isn't just attraction, it's deep trust. It's his way of saying, I feel safe here. And for a man, that kind of safety equals love. When he can't imagine life without you, he begins to show sides of himself the rest of the world will never even get close to. It might not look big from the outside. Maybe it's the way he shares his fears with you. Maybe it's how he talks about his past. Or maybe it's simply the fact that he lets you see him when he's not trying to impress. But believe me, those are bigger than gifts or fancy dates. Vulnerability is a rare gift that men only share with someone they truly trust with their heart. And in the bedroom, that vulnerability becomes even clearer. That is the most unguarded space a man can be in. There are no titles, no tough guy act, no pretending to control every detail. It's just him with you, stripped of all the masks. If he can connect emotionally in that space, if he can be gentle, affectionate, and open without holding anything back, that means something powerful. That's not just closeness. It's emotional surrender. And don't confuse surrender with weakness. This isn't about a man losing who he is. It's about him choosing to be completely present with you, even if it means showing the cracks in his armor. Some men go their entire lives without ever showing that side to anyone. So if he's showing it to you, it's because he feels at home with you. He trusts that you won't use his softness against him. That's rare. Most men protect themselves by keeping a piece of their heart locked away. But when he reaches the point of not being able to live without you, he begins unlocking those doors. He lets you in on his insecurities, his dreams, his doubts, his goals. He'll share what scares him and what excites him, not because he needs approval, but because he wants you inside his world. That's true vulnerability, and it isn't something we offer lightly. There is a clear difference between a man who's just passing time and one who is truly invested. The man who's only around for the moment will keep walls up, making sure you only see the version of him he chooses to show. But the man who's deeply tied to you, the one who feels he can't imagine life without you, will start letting those walls down. Sometimes he'll even surprise himself with how much he's opening up. Because when the bond is real, it becomes almost impossible to keep everything locked inside. In those private, quiet spaces, vulnerability appears in little ways. Maybe it's how he lets you comfort him when he's had a rough day. Maybe it's the emotion in his eyes when he looks at you. Maybe it's the way he values your opinion, not just on small things like food or clothes, but on choices that matter in his life. Those are not random behaviors. They're signals that he sees you not only as someone he wants, but as someone he needs. So if you have a man who is willing to show you the real him, flaws, fears, and all, don't take that lightly. That isn't a passing gesture. That's a lasting sign. A man who cannot live without you will risk looking soft, will risk appearing vulnerable because he knows with you his heart is safe. And when a man feels that level of safety, that level of trust, he's already given you something he cannot take back. His actions speak far louder than his words ever could. Because let's be honest, men can say a lot. They can say they care. They can say they love you. They can say they'll never leave. But words are easy. They flow smoothly from the tongue. Some men even master the art of saying the right words without ever meaning them. That's why you have to watch what a man does, not just what he says. Actions, that's where the truth lives. When a man is truly connected to you, when he can't see a life without you, his behavior shifts. You don't have to beg him to show up. He just shows up. You don't have to ask him to care. He already do. He's there in the good times, but also in the bad ones. He's present when you're laughing, but he's still present when you're crying. That consistency, that steady presence, that's his heart speaking louder than words. And it's not always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's about the way he pays attention when you don't even notice. He sees when you're tired. He notices when something feels off. He remembers little things you thought no one noticed, like how you take your coffee or how you always put on music when you're stressed. A man who can't live without you picks up on these details and he acts on them. That's how you know it's real. Even in intimate moments for him, it's not just about the act. It's about reading your energy, making sure you feel good, making sure you're comfortable and cared for. And afterward, when most people let their attention fade, he's still right there, holding you, talking with you, protecting that space between you. That's not just a word, it's an action. And it's one of the most powerful actions of all. Men are often told to be providers and protectors, but when a man truly loves you, he doesn't just provide money or protect your physical safety. He provides emotional safety and protects your heart. That can look like defending you when you're not around. It can mean stepping in when someone disrespects you. It can mean speaking up for your needs even when you're too tired to. Those aren't things that can be faked. Here's the truth. A man can tell you he loves you every single day. But if his actions don't match, those words are only noise. But if he's showing up for you, if he's making sacrifices, if he's making your happiness his priority without keeping score, then he's already telling you, I can't live without you. He's just saying it with what he does, not with what he says. It's not always about being perfect. A man who is in love with you won't always get everything right. He's still human, which means sometimes he will make mistakes. But you will always see the difference between a man who slips up but makes an effort to fix it and a man who doesn't care enough to even try. The one who's truly serious about you will take responsibility for his actions. He'll listen, he'll learn, and he'll improve. Not only because you told him to, but because the idea of losing you is not something he can accept. Another important sign is time. A man who truly can't live without you will give you his time. Time is the one thing none of us can get back, and men protect it carefully. If he keeps choosing to share his time with you again and again, that's not by accident. That's a choice. Whether it's simply ditting together, doing nothing, or putting effort into planning something special, he's showing you where you stand in his life. Pay attention to the quiet and consistent actions. The ones he does when nobody is looking, when he has nothing to gain. That's when the truth reveals itself. Because when a man is connected to you on a deep soul level, he doesn't need to constantly say it out loud. You'll feel it in the way he treats you, the way he shows up, and in the way his actions wrap around you like a promise he is determined to keep. When a man can't picture life without you, you'll notice it in the constant tenderness and steady attention he gives you. Not only sometimes, not only when he wants something, but all the time. Anyone can be sweet for a short while. Anyone can turn on the charm in the beginning, but true love, real connection, keeps showing up even when things get messy, even when the atmosphere isn't perfect, even when life feels dull. That's when you know the man beside you is there for the long run. Many men are skilled at the chase. They'll text non-stop, call every night, SERP, rise you with little gestures, all just to win your attention. But here's the truth. Most men slow down once they believe they've already won you over. The effort starts to fade, the attention gets weaker, the tenderness slips away. But the man who truly cannot live without you doesn't stop doing the very things that made you love him in the first place. He keeps finding ways to make you feel valued, even in ordinary everyday moments. Tenderness is more than just physical touch. It's about how he speaks to you, the tone he uses, the way his words lift you instead of pulling you down. It's the way he reaches for your hand while walking together, the way he brushes something from your face without even thinking, the way he kisses you as if it's the first time every time. Tenderness is creating a steady atmosphere of care and attention. That type of love can't be faked for long. When a man's heart is truly involved, he notices things that others don't. He listens to what you say and remembers it. He pays attention to your moods and knows what to do to bring back your smile. He's aware of your routines, habits, and little quirks. And instead of being bothered, he cherishes them because they are part of you. A man who can't imagine life without you doesn't just check in because it's expected. He checks in because he truly wants to know how you are. He wants to share in your day, your thoughts, and your feelings. If something exciting happens, he wants to be the first to know. If something painful happens, he wants to be the one you lean on. That's what real attention looks like. And it's one of the strongest signs you are not just an option to him, you are his priority. And the thing about consistency is that it creates trust. It gives you security in a way that random big gestures never can. A man who appears one day and vanishes the next will always leave you uncertain. But a man who shows up with tenderness and care every single day gives you the peace of knowing, without doubt, that you matter to him. That's when love feels safe. And safe love is the kind that lasts. Some people confuse attention with control, but they are not the same. Control is about trying to keep you under watch. Attention is about holding you in his heart. When his love is real, his attention doesn't feel like pressure.